These crimes were committed by law-abiding citizens.
The same pattern is repeating around the world, so there could be an overriding factor, perhaps a paranormal element.
Are you talking about magic?
The single most powerful conduit of evil in the history of the world.
I will remake the world as I see fit.
There are things that are beyond us. And that's why the Justice League Dark is there.
Justice League Dark is what it sounds like. It's the dark side of justice.
A group of supernatural heroes who band together loosely to take on occult threats, supernatural threats, threats that the real Justice League may be powerless against.
This is the first time that we're actually going to explore the supernatural side, and not just supernatural as in villains, but actually supernatural as in heroes.
It's pretty interesting seeing heroes working on the dark side of the fence.
You get to see them do things that the Justice League couldn't do. And it's intense, it's scary. I wanted it to be more like a horror film.
I've given birth to the devil.
A lot of thrills, a lot of frights. It's a fun ride. It's a Justice League movie, but it's not. There are Justice League members in it, but they're not going to be the focus.
Sometimes the more mainstream heroes are not the right guys for the job.
You have Deadman and the Demon and Swamp Thing and Zatanna and John Constantine. These outsiders are going to make up the Justice League in this movie.
These are not guys who go to meetings and sit around a table. They kind of appear and disappear when needed.
They don't look like your typical superheroes. They're outcasts. No one is happy when they show up. If anything, with Justice League Dark, everyone's frightened when they show up. They misunderstand them. So having monstrous people do heroic things is always kind of cool. There's no assumption that they're going to do the right thing. They may want to, but they're not perfect.
If you throw in the Justice League, you know that they're all going to have teamwork and they're all going to work together to overcome whatever the threat is.
Sorry, John. You're on your own.
Characters like Swamp Thing, John Constantine, Zatanna, Deadman, Etrigan, they're constantly butting heads, they're constantly getting in each other's way. But I like that, at least with an origin movie like this, where you see them start to slowly learn how to work together. You see how they're able to complement each other to overcome villains that don't really adhere to the same rules of somebody like Lex Luthor or the Joker or even Darkseid. The action in Justice League Dark, I tried to make it as over-the-top as all of the fighting games and video games that I played and a lot of the anime that I watch.
Visually, we knew we wanted this not to be the same as a regular Justice League movie. Because of the involvement of magic, we needed to represent that in a physical kind of way. So Jay came up with the idea of using the runes to personify the magic, and each character kind of has their own special designed rune, which appears whenever their magic is being used. And so it became kind of a visual accent. You actually see the runes when they use their magic. You actually see the design of what their power personifies and looks like.
For fans of the dark side of the DC universe, you'll see a lot of Easter eggs and callbacks to it, like the Demons 3 make an appearance.
I'm betting the House of Mystery.
In our Justice League Dark comic, the House of Mystery played a big part. It's a mysterious house that comes and goes as it's needed to help the world.
You'll see a lot of callbacks to the comics as well as some new things that we added in to kind of, keep things, new for the audience.
The criminally insane don't need magic to do evil.
Batman is in it a lot.
We are introduced to this world through his eyes.
He doesn't really want to believe in magic, even when it's right in front of him.
Not everything requires magic.
Batman, he's us, he's the human beings, and so when he starts to see these things, there's that part of him that, just like us, would be like, okay, this can't be real, there's gotta be something behind this. He believes in aliens, he's met them, he's fought them, some of them are his best friends, but he will not admit that magic is real.
Don't kill him. You can't.
Constantine is like the everyman of the supernatural world. He's just wearing a trench coat and a tie and a blazer. He's got powers, but he's not flashy, doesn't wear a costume of any kind, but he knows everything about everyone. So he's kind of like a private investigator / occult expert.
He's just cool. He's like James Dean with powers, you know?
He's not a joiner. He doesn't belong in a group. If anything, he ends up hurting the people he deals with. So he kind of is a loner out of necessity.
And so he's the perfect guy you want as the lead, because when he does heroic things, it actually means something.
That's why we need you. You can lead us.
Deadman is in the story as well. He's kind of a fun character in terms of possessing other people and heroes, and it's just fun to see him on stage.
Maybe it's time to make a difference.
Zatanna obviously is a well-known magical hero.
She tries not to do magic throughout the film because she knows that she's one of the most powerful wizards out there. By taking in that power, the temptation is too great for her to be corrupted by it, and so she tries to stay away from it.
Gone, gone the form of man. Arise the demon Etrigan!
I love the demon, and in a way, the story centers around him, since the threat that is put before the heroes of Earth is an ancient threat from back in medieval times. And the demon is kind of connected to the story right from the start. Swamp Thing is also a fantastic surreality character.
I am a huge Swamp Thing fan. I've always wanted to do a movie with him in it.
It's the magic of the house. Decided it wanted to experience humanity and gave itself a body.
You sure did.
We also have Black Orchid, who is a manifestation of the house, which is different than it's been in the comics.
Your life is a patchwork of blackness with no time for joy. How do you cope with it?
I have a butler.
No two ways about it. We need to get close to have a chance. I expect the worst, so I prepare for the worst.
We were able to line up Matt Ryan, who played Constantine on TV. He really was Constantine to me.
I really wanted to jump into this project to play Constantine in a different context, around some of the iconic characters that are in the DC Dark world.
Alec Holland was murdered by terrorists. His body was never recovered.
Innocent lives are at stake.
I think it's one of the best Justice League scripts so far.
Do you see why I can't do what you do?
She always has to say how she feels in the situation.
I could kill him.
Little late for that, my friend. Sweet! Batman's heard of me.
Why are we in the middle of a godforsaken swamp? To smash your skull is what I crave!
They're everywhere! Everywhere!
It's a different kind of story than what we've done in the past with just fighting aliens or fighting Lex Luthor or supervillains, but now we're dealing with, you know, villains who want to take your soul.
I think fans can expect the unexpected.
You don't consider the cost!
Now, John, there's no time.
Here's what real magic looks like.
I like the action.
Move! Fine and dandy. Let's take a walk on the dark side then.